We begin today's vlog. We are at the Hopkins County Humane Society, and as many of you know, they suffered a lot of damages due to that recent EF1 tornadic storm that came through Madisonville a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And so I'm going to take you inside and show you, basically it's been gutted out on the inside where they held the cats. So the cats were inside this front space over here of the Humane Society. They still have some dogs over here. I don't know if you'll be able to see inside. We'll go in and show you a little bit about what's going on right now. Of course, they had the entire roof kind of peeled, at least half of it peeled. And so they did a quick temporary job on it. So I'll take you inside and show you what's going on. So this was their front office space, the area you first came into. So you can see all of the rooms right now due to the rain that was coming in. Of course, you can imagine a peeled roof, all of the water that was pouring through. So this is the front space. This is where the cats were, right here in this space. And so all the cats were immediately transported to other area shelters. And so this entire space has been gutted. This was their offices where they would do some, I'm guessing, procedures where they would see people who were coming in to maybe adopt or show animals. And so, you know, some spaces still essentially kind of untouched, maybe mainly towards the back. But you can see, like, even here, the bathroom. So the front space has been gutted. Again, this is where the cats were. This area right here you're looking into. And so a shout out to all of the shelters and such who came and immediately picked up the animals, because you can imagine the stress they were going through when the tornado, the storm was peeling the roof off. What maybe distress they were going through at that moment. And so they keep the dogs in the back. And so the dogs, I think, are fine. And they had to take some dogs to move to other shelters, but they still have some animals here. And so you see the caged area, and there's some animals inside. There's some in the back too. So this is where the roof was peeled. They actually did a temporary fix on it to just keep it from having any more rain coming through. And wouldn't you know it, this weekend we have a chance of more severe weather coming through Hopkins County. I'm guessing this is where they're utilizing their office space right now, is this camper. So they have a few dogs here. How many dogs are still here? 28. To about 28 still here at their facility, and they've had to move others to other locations. So you can see, if we zoom in on the sign, the Hopkins County, well, I thought we were zooming in. Apparently we're not zooming in, but they got a few dogs back there. And the pond with a couple of geese hanging out.
All right, we're inside of the office.
We are now inside. What's your name, sir?
My name's Chris.
Chris. All right, so we have Chris here, who's kind of showing us around right now what the inside looks like post the storm action that took place. And so they still have a few dogs here, like we were talking about, and so. See, we still have a few lovely dogs around here.
Have you seen the inside?
Yes, I went inside. Yeah, that door was unlocked, so I actually went in there.
All right, got it.
And so I've shown a little bit about what's going on. So they still have about 28, you said, in here? 28 dogs still in here.
And then we're still in process of figuring out how far they'll tear down, because this has to be brought up to code. So back in the day when it was built, the spacing on the trusses was 5 feet.
Yeah.
Today's code is like 2 feet. So it's a question of whether to just replace, remove, or just completely remodel.
Okay.
So that's the bigger question.
Is there an estimated dollar amount how much damage the storm did?
I mean,
are they still figuring that out?
Yeah, they're still literally figuring it out. I think the building at cost, I think, was north of $700 back when it was built.
Yeah.
What today's values is.
Yeah, the price of material has gone up.
That's something that they're doing.
Yeah.
They're getting spreadsheets and itemizing everything and
okay.
trying to get it all figured out. right now we do have our dogs that right now we have outside, but this is their living their living space right now. And then hopefully if the weather holds out, we keep them outside. Outside, just small runs. We have our big dog park still operational out back.
Yeah.
But it's a matter of getting these dogs to another location.
I can only imagine the amount of dumpsters you've had to fill with all this trash.
Yeah, quite a few. So, so obviously, with what we have left versus what we're actually going to do with the rest of the building, that's something that's Dustin's and the board members' decision.
Yeah.
So we'll figure that out as we go.
Yeah. So I know you have a kennel space back here that you still have the dogs running loose outside a little bit.
We have our bigger run. We have 2 horses down. They're actually in the half barn there.
Yeah.
So other than the 2 horses, we have about 28 dogs remaining. 6 of them are scheduled to be picked up once they work out the transfer details.
Okay.
Just being able to transport them, but.
And a lot of these animals are actually up on the Humane Society's website, right?
Yeah. And all of them are beyond stray hold, so everybody here is actually available for adoption.
Okay.
So whether or not they just become in a transfer to another facility, or if somebody comes and picks them up, that whichever happens first.
Yeah.
People, I guess, just need to be made aware that they can go to Hopkins County Humane Society.com, fill out the applications online, and then the whole process is pretty straightforward as far as approval and whatnot.
Look at you two being adorable over here. Do they, obviously, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. Is there a time frame on which they hope to have all this completed to have these animals back?
Once they actually start the remodeling phase, I mean they've had low numbers as 6 months. They've had a high number up to a year. As far as when they'll become operational as a facility.
Okay.
They will set up a temporary field center. That way they can offer the county a service as far as aggressive animals and stuff like that. But as far as intaking to the public, as far as owner surrenders, will be very limited. So it'll be a very low scale as far as what we operate on, and the location that we are going to is not even determined yet. It's still kind of fresh into the whole process of everything happening.
So all the dogs that you've been seeing in this video are up for adoption. You can go and check them out right now on the Hopkins County Humane Society's website, and I'll provide a link in the description. So I'm going to put a wrap on today's vlog. Appreciate Chris showing me around there at the Humane Society. Of course, they are still going to be under construction for quite some time. They still have a few of their dogs, as you saw in the video, up for adoption. He went on later afterwards. I didn't vlog this, but was going into the description of the cleanup process of the storm damage and how it pretty much took all of the roofing and such and the damages done to the north end of their space there on the west end of Madisonville, and was just telling me some of the details of the trash that they had to pick up, the debris, and very fortunate that they didn't lose the entirety of the building, and it was just some roof and their offices that will need to be repaired and replaced with the walls and such. So I'm sure, maybe later this year they'll be back open, but as of right now, you can go to the Humane Society's website. I will include that in the description below on where you can go to adopt some of these animals and help find a forever home for them here in 2025. Be good to one another. We'll see you back here for another vlog real soon. Bye!